I thought there could be applause for 20 minutes. And it wasn't. And it made sense to me because as he came out, I thought that this crowd says this guy has stuff to say, and I want to hear what it is. And so he got going pretty crisply and promptly.
The entrance was one of the most epic entrances I've ever seen. Like you said, the Vegas Trump letters, and he's standing right in the
Yeah,
middle of the
it was
stage.
glorious.
I mean, honest to goodness, I will tell you this. They have a giant elevator in the front of the stage for the teleprompter
Right.
that would go up and
Mm-hmm.
down. You know how those
Right.
trapdoor things go. And like when Kid Rock came out to perform, which was
Oh,
epic.
just so
I
great.
mean, oh, it was. I mean, Hulk Hogan. I mean, I was in ecstasy last night. I've
Ripping
never,
off his T-shirt to reveal the Trump Vance tank top underneath.
never experienced anything like that in my life. So I told Joey Hudson, who's with me, that trap door went down before Trump emerged, and I thought, if he ascends on this trap door, I'm going to be on the floor. I mean, but thankfully, because that might have been a little much even for Trump
Maybe with
standards.
the smoke
But
machines going.
or maybe lower him down on cables just from the ceiling. Come emerge through the red, white, and blue
Like
balloons. I
Lady
mean,
Gaga at the Super Bowl halftime.
but he came from the back of the
Yeah.
stage, and the place went crazy.
Oh,
And it was fascinating because the mainstream media, Axios, is calling it two Trumps. 28 minutes of the somber recounting of the
right,
assassination
right.
attempt, and then a good old fashioned Trump speech.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? That was
Yes, which
fine.
it was
That
perfect,
was
and it was
it,
perfect. I didn't want a sedate, subdued Alan Alda sensitivity session. I wanted him to be reflective and calm and thoughtful and introspective, and he was. And then I wanted about an hour of everything he's going to do to make this country better, and he delivered, and it was magnificent.
that's what he did. And of course, here, let me read to you what
Oh,
Axios
please!
says to show you what a
I
bunch
can
of
only imagine.
sourpuss,
Uh
Joy Reid loving
huh.
goofballs have to say. Here's Axios, big takeaway.
Yes.
The old Trump returned and
Uh,
bellowed, barked, and bored America. Despondent Democrats, they write, were reminded why they'd long believed before Biden melted down
mhm,
that Trump is a flawed candidate
mhm.
and eminently beatable. That's their
Yep.
take. I mean, look, like you said, Trump derangement syndrome takes smart people and makes them stupid.
Yes.
They just become dumb. That was one of the and let them have dumb takes. Let them sit there and stew in their own
Sure.
juices and think that somehow he fell short last night, because he did not.
Oh.
Of course, it was a good old fashioned Trump speech. Look, if anybody's ever been to a Trump property, you know that the mantra less is more is not exactly in Donald Trump's
No, less,
vocabulary.
more is better.
Right, right. The more you can do, amen. So that's just the
Uh,
Trump belief. And hey, would it have been? What would they have said if he'd have trimmed it down? Oh, it's a
yeah,
brand new Trump.
yes.
He's not brand new,
No,
but he's been impacted. He's been
obviously.
affected. Kissing the uniform of Corey
Okay.
Compatore. Oh my
Let's for that.
gosh.
There are people who did not see it, and they'll
Ooh,
get clips. So
ooh.
before Trump even comes out, they wheel out on a stand Corey Comparatore's jacket and helmet from Buffalo Township, Pennsylvania, and it's like, oh, this is so wonderful and so meaningful. And I felt my eyes
Mm.
well up a little bit as I can't even tell this story. I'm sorry. And it was good. And there it was on stage, at the side of the stage. President comes out and talks about what his experience was, and then talks about the man who did not survive that day, wonderful hero firefighter, dad, and husband, Corey Comparatore. Walks over to the stand where that firefighter's jacket, the familiar brown and bright yellow firefighter's jacket and the
Right.
helmet with the logo, and walks behind it, puts his hands on the shoulders of the jacket, and kisses the top of the helmet.
Right.
There is no other. It is an incomparable moment. There will
It
be
was it
nothing like
was
it.
it was epic. There wasn't a dry eye in the arena. It was so powerful and meaningful. And I've been told by members of the Trump inner circle that Corey Comparatore's death has impacted President Trump deeply, because he knows, were it not for this Trump loving supporter shielding his wife and children who came to that rally that sunny afternoon in Butler, he'd be alive today. And President Trump knows
Yeah.
that. That's why he's attending the funeral. It was just such a significant moment, and very uncharacteristic of Donald Trump to say, "I'll tell this story only once, but I'm not going to say it again because it's too painful." He knows he cheated death. He said at one point last night, Mark, that I don't deserve to be here right now. Well, Mark, the crowd, just an organic response, started cheering in unison. Yes, you do.
Yes,
yes,
you
do.
I'm not supposed to be here. And they said, yes, you are.
I mean, it was so, it just goosebumps, because these chants and these cheers, I've never experienced anything like it. There's a lot of kind of scripted, chants and, 4 more years.
Yep.
It goes back to conventions for as long as there's ever been conventions. No, this was all organic, Mark. It was so.
The whole week was. This was more than a political TV show. Conventions are cool. They're fun. We knew you were going to have an amazing time. We knew there was going to be incredible energy coming off of this because, please, it's Trump and we have a country to save. But that bullet and this event and that miracle made the whole thing, and your coverage of it has just dripped with the magnificence of the sublime cultural religious miracle moment. This feels like so much deeper than a political moment. So
different. It's a different kind of energy. As you know, I've been to a lot of these. I mean, you and I've covered stuff before. You've been to your share of conventions. This was number 19 for me in my career, which is a lot. Nothing could ever compare to being here in Milwaukee this week. And of course, now we look across the aisle at the Titanic meets the Lusitania, topped with the Hindenburg. They've got a disaster on their hands. The buzz here in Milwaukee is that Biden is stepping down this weekend, and that he is going to refuse to endorse Kamala Harris, and that they're headed, and that they're headed towards an open convention in Chicago in a few weeks, where it's going to be.
How will that go? The moment at which Joe Biden, and I'm still, and everybody please forgive me, I am still going to wear the sandwich board that says I'll believe it when I see it. I think Jill is hanging on by her fingernails, and I don't think they want to get out. And I think there may be even a little more suspense. I know you're right. You've always been right. And
no, but I may not be, because listen, there's a lot of reporting saying Joe doesn't plan to go anywhere. No. There's a lot of reporting that says Jill's not going to let him go anywhere. There's reporting that says that the Biden family is furious at the way the entire Democrat infrastructure has turned on him.
They're bowing up.
Oh, you bet.
Let's say he does get out and does not immediately hand the baton to the woman of color that he chose because she was a woman of color. What will Democrat America do?
Well, I don't even know how it works. I was talking to Senator Ron Johnson, and he insisted to me this cannot even physically be done. And I think it can. I don't know what exactly.
Sidestepping her, you mean?
No, Biden stepping down. That's what I kept saying. I mean, I mean, there's David Webb telling me 7 states won't let it happen, and you pointed something out that brought me back to reality. He's not officially the nominee yet, but it gets into the whole ballot printing process. Look, the clock is ticking. I mean, we're not that far away. So we'll see. I don't know what it looks like. I mean, I'm just kind of trying to take it all in like you are, and understand that we're up again. I mean, look at the Emerson poll came out just again earlier today. All seven swing states, Trump is leading. And if any, listen, I'm going to tell your audience and mine, if any dummy believes the mainstream media's take that the lengthy speech
it hurt him.
will hurt Trump's popularity, make a note that whoever said that, you should never trust or believe again.
I saw some people on our side, and it's kind of funny when I say our side. I mean, actually our side, not just used to be our side and have since been broken by him. But I saw a couple of weird takes that said, up till last night, it was like, oh, this guy's unbeatable. He's on point. He's great. He's rediscovered a kind of a new vibe that'll win over a whole bunch of new people. But now, after last night, the Democrats are saying, woohoo, let's go tee it up. How soon can we have our convention? Because it's a whole new game. What?
I don't want to put you on the spot. When you say our side, are you referring to any legitimate Trump
It was
supporters?
people who, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. Not the Jennifer Rubins, not the Bill Clinton, not the Never Trumpers. Folks who have perhaps even grudgingly, but somewhat consistently admitted that he is in his ascendancy, and that seems to be okay with them.
Yeah, but the key is the grudgingly.
Yeah,
So maybe
exactly.
they might. There's a lot of people who support Trump out of expediency.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who truly genuinely do not like the guy, and they can't get past it. So I would be very cynical, very dubious.
You're so right. Before, you're 100% right, because you can see it in the way that they've absorbed this week. You can see it in the people who say, well, J.D. Vance, okay, but I really would have preferred somebody else, and J.D. Vance doesn't really help him. Well, that's the song that is sung by people who don't really like Trump that much, don't really like MAGA that much. Oh, the speech could have been a lot better. Now, here's a total turncoat, Jonah Goldberg, who said that if it was 25 minutes long, it would have been great. But as it was just same old Trump and terrible, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, you're
right, because that's because those people in their wish list, in their dream, they wish he would just change his entire personality because they've never liked his personality. And that's, you just have to accept that it's baked into the cake. Listen, before we go, and I've got my fingers crossed that I'll be able to get on a plane today. You've heard about, of course, the massive,
really, the crowd's coming out, and that
the massive computer glitch,
the meltdown from, what's the company's name?
CrowdStrike, and it's affecting American, it's affecting United and Delta. I think it's getting better.
I saw American tweeted that we think we're back to sort of normal, but that doesn't mean there aren't crowds.
Well, look up Delta. see if Delta's okay, because if not, listen, I don't mind Milwaukee. I do not want to be. I don't want to be trapped here another day. I want to go home to my own bed. If I have to schlep my bags for 9 miles one more time, I'm going to heave. I mean, this has been a long week. It's been a gratifying week, but again, like I like to say, I'm too old for this crap.
You first, and then I have a final.
No, that's all. I want to end on a serious note, but go ahead. You ask.
It was ask away. Because there's nothing weirder, and you know this too, than the Friday morning of a convention week, because millions of people and tons of drama and energy just throbbing. Every time I've done a convention or a New Hampshire or an Iowa, the last morning after the results are in and everybody's already gone for the most part. There was one famous, I think, New Hampshire primary or Republican convention or whatever, where I'm doing a Friday morning show, trying to, in what's left of the broadcast thing. And I'm saying, okay, let's go to the phones. Clang, 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 because they're bringing down all the pipes and drapes. They're trying to get out of Dodge, and I'm sitting there with a talk show that I still have to do. So it's just my goofy inside baseball question.
I'm one of the
in that room right now.
I'm one of the last people in the room, that's for sure. The good news is the prune-faced NPR people across the way here don't have to suffer through another Mike Gallagher show. Those people are traumatized for life. They're all making calls to their therapists and their counselors, because they're saying, I had to sit next to this bombastic, blowhard conservative for an entire week.